So hello and welcome in Montreal. We are with Seu from Brazil here at the Montreal Jazz Fest. How are you doing today? How do you feel before the performance tonight?
Really excited. I've been here once, I think it was 6 years ago, and it was amazing. I was so surprised with the reception of the people, and I love it. So I'm really excited to be in this great festival.
I wanted to ask you about the recent album that you have. I'm sorry if I pronounce it
No
not
problem.
that right. Caravana Blue.
Exactly.
And so it was conceived on the road, as I read, and about the road, about the traveling. Can you tell me more about the whole process, how it started, and because it's sort of mystical when we just listen to that, and so I wanted to know a little more about it.
Since I released the first album, I've been traveling a lot, not only in Brazil but also out of Brazil, and I felt that this theme, road, it's kind of intense thing. It's not just glamorous. It's not just like really cool to be. I mean, it's really really nice, but it's also like something that it's a lot of responsibilities, and it's like another life inside of your own life, So it's crazy. In 1 month you are with a new family, with another family, which is the band guys, and we are kind of far from our comfort zone. You know what I mean? But this is also really, really cool, really full of different images, different people, different cultures, so I felt that somehow I had to talk about this. Then I started to write this album, Caravana, Série Blue.
But you knew already that you wanted to write only about these themes, so was it a sort of, how can I say, detonator, or one event that just made you realize you really needed to write about it, or was it just a process?
The whole process was so intense. In Brazil I have a regular life. I'm just a person. I am a mother. I have things to do, and then when I have tours, it's like I have to change a lot of things and to move a lot of things, and it's like having a hills on my in my house, which is the caravana, the bus. So it's crazy, and yeah, somehow I felt that it's what I wanted to talk about, So it's kind of little short stories, conversations that I had or I've heard on the road, and yeah, it's different images.
I noticed that most of it is in Portuguese, but there are 2 songs in English. So how does the language play a role in your writing? And was it a conscious choice to choose English for some songs, or how was that?
Not exactly. Actually, I sang Rocksteady, that it's from Jamaica. So, and in this album, I wanted to, as I was talking about the road, somehow I felt that has a connection with the cinema and movies and images, because it feels like a road movie, when you are on the road. So I was like playing a character in the whole album, and I asked some different composers to write the songs for me, like as just a crooner, not a songwriter as I am too. I wanted to feel like this a little bit. So I asked Lucas Santana, this friend of mine, and he sang, he wrote in English for me. In Brazil, people were like, now you're going to sing in English. What's going on? No, it's just, English is such a musical language. It's like Portuguese too, so for me, music is a free thing. It's not about English, Spanish, it's about music. So I felt okay singing in English.
Does it make a difference for you as well in the way that you express your emotions when you sing either in one language or the other?
It's different, but somehow it's, you know, it's just music. Lucas wrote for me, actually I asked him, I want a Spanish, because this album, I was pretty much into this Latin rhythms and you know, Brazilian, what happens in the frontier of Brazil, that we have lambadas, cumbias, and the mix with the South American rhythms, you know. So actually in the Spanish song would be much better, but he wrote in English and I love the song and I felt okay, so let's do it.
So I wanted also to ask, I spoke with someone who really likes your work and knows it really, really well, and he said, so a question he would ask you would be how it comes that the style is so different from this album to the previous one. So I know you have many influences, so, but what is, the theme is strong and also the musical style is very different from what you've done before.
That's a hard question, because I'm not exactly the right person to answer this, because for me it's not that different, you know. But I understand. I think this album has, first of all, it's a conceptual album, so it makes a lot of difference. And but also, I don't know, maybe because of the guitar thing, I put a lot of guitars. In the other albums, no guitar, it was much more keyboards, and so it's, I don't know, I have a lot of influences. Being a Brazilian, it's kind of natural to have so many different influences, because we are mixed people. We have African, European, native Indian, so for me it's okay. And I am from São Paulo, which is a huge city, and we don't really have like our own style, you know what I mean? In Brazil, if you go to Northeast, you will see maracatu, you will see old school rhythms that are from this part of Brazil. In São Paulo, we are just megalopoly that has a lot of different influences. So I really don't know how to answer this question.
That's fine, that's fine.
Tudo que se passa dentro da cabeça. Olho na estrada vaga, paisagem que acalma velozmente não para.
So we always wonder, what are you listening to? What do you have, for example, in your iPod, or what are you listening to? What kind of artist?
Well, I consider myself like a vintage person. I like a lot to look back and to hear, you know, old school stuff. Maybe because my father taught me to do this, you know, because he's teacher on music. So, and but now I've been listening a lot the music that is made in Northeast and north of Brazil. So the cumbias, lambadas, carimbós, bregas, all these different styles. And also, well, let me see something new. Oh my God.
It doesn't need to be new. It needs to be true. It needs to be what you listen to.
Yeah.
Really.
So yes, I'm pretty much into this old school styles, you know, of different rhythms, Latin rhythms. Yeah.
Tudo que se passa dentro da cabeça. Olho na
And you know that Brazilian music was always very popular as well abroad. And would you consider yourself as an ambassador of the modern Brazilian music? So because you're traveling so much and you're spreading the world somehow, so would you consider yourself as the ambassador of the modern music in Brazil?
No, actually. I don't, because I am, you know, if you go to São Paulo now, if you go to Brazil, you see that there's a lot of really cool artists doing same things of me, or, you know, different, but contemporary art, you know, music in Brazil. So I'm just a little piece of the whole puzzle, you know. I think I have this nice opportunity to be traveling and showing a little bit of what's going on now in Brazil, but well, yeah, we have a lot of different artists happening over there. But I don't consider myself like the ambassador of, you know, anything. I'm just, I'm really proud to be part of it and had the chance to show people Brazilian music.
Tudo que se passa dentro.
How do you feel about the Brazilian music so spreading, you know, everywhere, and having more influences, also mixing up with some other kind of music? How do you feel about that, being Brazilian?
Yeah, I think it's interesting because somehow music is getting the liner between the cultures, you know, it's getting thin a little bit. But I don't worry, you know, somehow people ask me, so are you leaving our traditional? No, because the roots are the roots, you know. I will never cut the roots, because otherwise I'm gonna die. The roots is where we can get our source. So I have my sources, and it's based on Brazilian culture. So it's old school samba, Nelson Cavaquinho, and all these different styles that I said to you.
Hope to see you very soon back in Montreal. Thank you very much, Steve.
Thank you. Obrigada.